Hello and welcome to the final day preview of the combine, the offensive line, the big uglies, as they say. Um, we're gonna just kind of breeze on through. I like the thing about the combine with the offensive linemen is the the athletic testing doesn't equate to success as much as the other positions on the field, like center. Center is one of the biggest ones. So I'm kind of gonna breeze through guys who I just have an eye on and I want to look at. Joe Alt's the number one, and him kind of in comparison to Olu Fashanu. Olu Fashanu's probably gonna test better, but Joe Alt has the much better tape overall. Like he is going to be the much better player at the next level to me because I think he's just a well blend of both, and he's only getting better. He was a tight end in high school, recruited as a tight end. I just think that Joe Alt is going to be able to put it together easily, put it all together easier than Fashanu, but Fashanu is going to be, I think, a combine warrior that we leave going, all right, he put the numbers. The numbers are there. We wanted to see the numbers with him, but and same as the next guy, Mims, Amarius Mims, but will they pressure um, Joe Alt? Probably not, in my opinion. But yeah, I think the tackles, seeing those two tackles is the biggest thing. But next, I mean, we'll talk about Amarius Mims. He's not played a lot of football. He is going to test like a freak. He has very limited tape, but the tape that he has, he was dominant at times, and he's going to put a good number on paper this year. In just because of me, just in my feel of it, because watching him, you notice the body flexibility, you notice the athletic, getting off the line. The same as Fashanu. Fashanu has an elite body flexibility, body contortion. Uh, but yeah, I think Mims, if there's a guy that you're looking at in the middle of the first, going, all right, we're gonna take a projection, sit him year one, and just kind of let's get it all together, put it together, and then you can play. It's Amarius Mims, and then we get into the sleeper of the tackle draft or of this class is Kingsley Suamalatia out of BYU. If you want a guy who's going to put up numbers, it's this guy. If you want the big numbers for a big guy running in the fours of the tackles, you like seeing that. He's going to be the guy, and he's another one who's just complete projection. Can he start year one? Absolutely not. For me, no. Kind of compares a lot to Bernard Raymond for me out of Central Michigan a few years ago. Like he's a good player, he projects very well, but I don't know if he can put it together year one. That you're comfortable putting him out there year one. I don't believe that. Next we get into the guards, and I know it says tackle, but Troy Fatanu, I project him as a guard because I think it's the classic Zach Martin. It's the classic Peter Skoronsky from last year. Do we want a good, serviceable, above average tackle, or do we want the potential great guard? And I think a team is going to draft Fatanu with the idea of him playing guard. It the arm length, like he's not outstandingly big. He's 6'4", 317. He's not. I don't think he's gonna lack length like Skoronsky did last year, but I think it's not going to be in comparison to a Mims. The other two top guys, J.C. Latham and Talisier Fuaga, I think he lacks length in comparison to those guys, and I think just chasing the ability to get a great guard over a serviceable tackle is the appeal of him, and I think he's going to put some good numbers up there. Uh, the guard next, Graham Barton, another tackle who projects to be inside, maybe center, maybe guard, but has the experience playing a lot of tackle, as you can see, a 3-year starter. Uh, yeah, I mean, He's a guy who I projected early in the process as my IOL one. Kind of lean Fatanu more the more I watch him, but both guys I think are really in that competition of who is going to be the number one guard, who is going to put the better numbers. And like I said, I mean it's not, the combine isn't for the O lineman. It really isn't. The workouts aren't for the O lineman. You kind of want to see how the guys move and things like that, but the tape is what you want to see with offensive linemen, because the athletic relative to success lately in the draft, the athletic scores don't mean as much for the offensive line in comparison to the other guys. That's why I don't want to spend too much time on any specific player. Then we get into the kind of sleeper of the offensive line, Dominic Puny from Kansas. He has that inside outside flexibility. Again, another guy who kind of lacks length, probably going to project as a guard, but he's done both. So I think if you're a team just looking for a guy who can play, who could develop, and you go, all right, we just want this guy to be one of our best five. I think he has the ability to do that at any place on the offensive line, preferably guard. But if you want to kick him out to tackle, maybe try it out. Let's see. You can, because he has the experience there, and he had good production this year at tackle in a meaningful way. Then we get into the center. Jackson Powers Johnson is the best center by far to me. Zach Frazier has been gaining steam, but Jackson Powers Johnson, his overall ability in all ways, in the passing game, in the ability to pull and be an athlete, he's going to be the best athlete of the centers, I imagine. And you're going to notice it when he moves different than all the other guys. He moved different in Mobile. He moved different on tape compared to all the other centers. And it's not quite Tyler Linderbaum a few years ago. And that's where it's hard to project him in a mock draft, because Linderbaum was like a top 10 to 15 player, and he went in the 20s, like the mid 20s. I think the Ravens traded up to get him. Jackson Powers Johnson is maybe on that level, maybe a little lower than Linderbaum if he doesn't put up quite the same numbers. But he is in a much deeper class. So is there going to be a team in the 20s that it decides we need a center bad, and this guy's a good center, and they just take him? Or is someone going to go, we just want to take valuable positions because we need to save money, because we have a quarterback who's making $50 million? Things like that. It's hard to project with a guy like him. And then we get to the last guy, Bo Limmer, out of Arkansas. 3-year starter again, inside. Versatility, played a lot of guard early, and then they moved him to center because they were kind of like, oh, we need a center, But yeah, I don't have a lot to say about the offensive line. I'm not an O-line expert, guru, anything like that. If you want an O-line expert, guru, go follow Brandon Thorne on Twitter. He's how I kind of judge offensive linemen, based on the things he says, the things he looks for, the technique he teaches. Another guy, Duke Manyweather, he's another one that he's a good follow, that you just go, don't come to me for the offensive line. I just wanted to put you on some names that, kind of look out for. Don't read into the numbers as much with these guys compared to the other positions. I can't stress that enough, because it's just, it's a position that athletic score at the combine doesn't it doesn't make success, is what I'm trying to say. So that's it for me. Thank you so much. If you watched all 4 days of the combine previews, I appreciate you a lot. That is awesome if you did that. If not, that's okay. That's all right. Just make sure you subscribe, because draft content is not going to stop. We're going to start diving into position rankings when I get back from Indy, to, kind of start digging into the quarterbacks. I have the quarterbacks on deck. I've had the quarterbacks kind of done for a little bit, and I just kind of been lazy on getting into that. But quarterbacks, receivers, things like that, running backs, I want to talk about. Maybe not in depth into the tackles and things like that, but yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much if you watched. Like I said, subscribe. Uh, the draft content's going nowhere. Mock drafts are going nowhere. Things like that until the draft officially happens. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and if you're gonna enjoy the combine, you enjoy that combine. Thank you so much.